sure you learn from them. And many of you are elders now. Small statement. Don't compete with the youth. You don't have to. You're a leader. Elders are the leaders in the community. Dancers are the leaders in the community. So let us give thanks. Now, you're all getting ready to move, all right? Because I'm going to say this one, and at the end, when I say Ashe 3 times, you have to really cut loose and turn it out. You let everything work, and then when I say freeze, you follow directions from there. Ready? Here we go. Stretch your hands as high as you can reach. Grab all of the knowledge that you can grab. Bring it to your head. Bring it to your heart. Bring it to your feet. And prepare to bring peace to this planet. Ashe. 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 Now, break it down. Everything, move it. Come on, get it going. Get it going. Right? Yes. Right, get it going. I go. Now, freeze. Look around. Check out your brother. Check out your sister. Check out each other. And remember the experience we have just had. And know that as long as you are dancing together, you have no time for hatred. You have no time for hatred. So let's give thanks. Let's give thanks. I go. So many thanks I have to give. You're all there, but Scott, you notice? I go. Ready? Let's hit it. Peace, love, respect for everybody. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the North American Performing Arts Managers and Agents Association, Jerry Ross.
This just isn't fair. Thank you, sir. I feel better now. And good afternoon, everyone. As president of NAPAMA, it has been my distinct honor to stand before you for the last 3 years and present our award winners. It's a great recognition of the people within our industry. NAPAMA, I understand there's 30% new people here, so NAPAMA is an association representing the interests of nearly 200 member organizations consisting of artist managers, agents, producers, independently represented artists, and presenters. We are thrilled with the close working relationships that we have with so many of the other arts organizations within our industry, and are especially gratified to count arts presenters as such a close working partner. The NAPAMA Award for Excellence in Presenting the Performing Arts is given each year to a distinguished presenter colleague. The nominated recipient should be from a not-for-profit performing arts organization and should exhibit proven dedication to the future of presenting the performing arts, a high level of professionalism, unwavering respect for colleagues in the field, artists, managers, and fellow presenters, and exemplary ethical behavior. In addition to the physical award, the award recipient receives a $1,000 check on behalf of NAPAMA made payable to the individual's organization with the funds to be dedicated to the organization's endowment. I've had the pleasure of knowing Steve Ducro, this year's Presenter Award winner, for well over 10 years. Sure. There's quite a lot I'd like to say about Steve, but following Maura's continued direction, I have to keep it to 3 minutes or less, so I realized there wasn't any possible way to include nearly a fraction of Steve's curriculum vitae. His 30 years in the arts, including 13 years at Northern Illinois University, followed by 8 years as a founding director at the Rouse Center in Crystal Lake, where they renovated a 1929 movie house that's about to celebrate its 15th anniversary, to his last 10 years as Director of Performing Arts at Elgin Community College Arts Center, he has been intentionally focused on working in small cities and rural communities. A snapshot of just a few things, in addition to his Performing Arts Center presenting series, he has 14 in-residence performance ensembles and an arts incubator program that include a 375-member Elgin Youth Symphony, a 100-member ballet folklorico dance group, and a group of 50 at-risk students who create and perform an original opera each year. The Arts Center conducts 4,000 instructional classes annually in art, music, theater, and dance, and hosts up to 6,000 individual private lessons annually. There's also the Artist in Residence outreach program serving domestic violence shelters, addiction centers, libraries, hospitals, and elementary through college students. They've done 120,000 of those in the last 5 years. Yet there's so much more that the center does. His additional list of accomplishments is extensive. He has served as conference co-chair for the Arts Midwest Conference, won't speak this time, has served many years as an officer and board member of the Illinois Presenters Network. He is a mentor, an arts supporter, and, in a little-known fact, has only missed one APAP since 1986. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Presenter of the Year, Steve Ducro.
Thank you, Nepama and Jerry. I owe every one of you. I stand before this tidal force of friends and colleagues who commit their lives to social change through art, and I am humbled for you have helped shape me. The first performance I ever presented started with a blistering rhythm and blues band from Milwaukee called Short Stuff, and it ended after participants had consumed 35 half barrels of beer and featured the University of Wisconsin rugby team belly sliding across the linoleum floor in a river of spilled beer, but only after discarding their pants. They were channeling Pilobulus, obviously. But as a child, there was no live art. My mom sold Fuller Brush door to door. My dad was a hardworking machinist. The only art I knew was the songs I heard from a 1960s Plymouth Fury radio as we transversed Wisconsin's snowy rural roads. Songs like Jimmy Webb's Wichita Lineman or the Beatles' Help or Otis Redding Sitting on the Dock of the Bay were these jolts of electricity that hit the bottom of my spine and flew through the top of my head. I would sneak into the basement and I'd play my dad's Buck Owens records and Johnny Cash and Carter Family records because that harmony vibrated my being. I realized on reflection, not having access to art propelled me because I wanted everyone to have it, no matter their pocketbook size or the town that they lived in. Art creates spiritual architecture. It busts the rusty bolts of hatred and small thought. I want to thank the people who've put me here. We've all had lighthouses that have helped us. You're the people I owe. Think of the people you owe. To Bill Bratton at Western Illinois University, who just passed this last month. Bill, you mentored thousands of students. You created an arts administration program and a presenting program out of dust and prairie grass. It was the most innovative program. Godspeed, Bill. I owe the places that shaped me, Wisconsin, the Midwest, Illinois. I owe the communities. We owe our communities that allow us to risk on a public campus and do placemaking, to Calb, Illinois, Elgin Community College at Elgin, the Rouse Center, Crystal Lake. to the great bosses who let us lead and teach us to lead and allow us to fail, Mary Hatch at ECC, Michelle Emmett at NIU, Bill Dwyer at the Rouse Center Board, Kevin Harris, Jim Miner, Bill Satterley, to NAPAMA and good artist representatives. You join with presenters to guard against artists being merely a market commodity. Liz, Bill, Bob, David, John, Jeff, Michael, Pat, Susan, Jerry, Kevin, Lynn, Keith, Robert, Michael, Herschel, God bless you all. And to artists, I'll wrap up soon. You jump from divine arms into the fray without any financial certainty, and this is raw, unadulterated courage. And without you, what's the point? Corky Siegel, Wynn Handman, Marcus Roberts, Murray Lewis, Richie Havens, Sean Hopper, John Spellman, Michael Ingersoll, Joe Bonamassa, to arts presenters for this annual communion they provide, to the Arts Midwest staff, David, Susan, and Angela for making me who I am and by leading and listening, to the staff at ECC for being the little engine that could, and for every staff member we work with who owe the title of not employee but colleague, to the families that love us, to Duke and Flo, my sisters, the Menting, Ducro and Burkus elders, and finally, to my wife, who's my love song, who I hear through music, who stayed with me and has been patient and unwilting cheerleader for all these years. God bless you all. Thank you.
Somewhere in here. The NAPAMA Award for Excellence as a Manager or Agent in the Performing Arts is given to a distinguished colleague serving the industry in this professional capacity. The nominated recipient must be personally active, and their organization must be an active company involved in the live performing arts industry, representing artists, attractions, or events that are deliverable to the performing arts field. The recipient will exhibit proven dedication to the past, present, and future of providing artists and attractions to and for the performing arts field, a high level of professionalism in all industry dealings, unwavering respect for colleagues in the field, including artists, fellow managers, agents, and presenters, exemplary ethical behavior, and a high level of integrity towards the entire performing arts field. Please welcome Monica Felkel, Director of Artist Management, Young Concert Artist, to present this year's award.
Thank you. I really dislike public speaking, but I love Harold, so. When I first started reflecting on Harold Norris, I couldn't remember which came first in my life, Harold or NAPAMA. We were simply colleagues before I joined him on the NAPAMA board in 1998, but not long after that, we started traveling to our booking conferences together. Then, every fall, we'd request side-by-side exhibits, coordinate our flight itineraries, go over to each other's apartments and figure out which clothes to pack, and decide, and decide who will bring what snacks for the plane. Eventually, Harold became not only a source of encouragement and support, and not only one of my closest confidants, but my conference husband. I could tell you all the things that make me admire, love, and respect Harold, both as a friend and colleague, but I'd rather share with you some of the accolades that came flooding in from presenters, managers, and artists when I asked them about Harold. There is a consistency that explains far better than I ever could as to why he is receiving this award. One presenter wrote, "I can hardly think of a manager more deserving of this award than Harold. We have become more than colleagues. We have become friends. Like the best of managers, Harold is devoted to his artists, sometimes to a fault, as even he will attest. He is passionate about creating that magical, just right combination of artist, presenter, and community, and has always worked hard to make that happen. Harold is a kind, compassionate, caring human being who makes us feel better than it sometimes lets itself be. I count my friendship with Harold among the true blessings of being in the presenting field." One of Harold's artists wrote, "Harold saw my potential and believed in me. We've now worked together for 10 years. Over that decade, Harold has accompanied me through the construction of a dream. He has watched me succeed, fail, rise up again, and persevere. He has supported me. As an artist, I am sometimes unreasonable, but Harold has always lent a compassionate ear, giving wise words of advice, whether through tough love or through empathetic discussion. In an industry that's all about selling, Harold has always made it about relationships. He has always kept it human. Kudos to a wonderful human being. Another presenter wrote, I have great admiration and respect for his values. He is passionate about artists, the art-making process, and the artwork, and has a great sensitivity to the needs of presenters. It is at the core of his humanity. Fellow managers and agents described him as a really good egg, one of the kindest people in our business. The field is a better place because he is in it. Someone who is deeply dedicated to the artists he represents. I love working with him, and I'm always grateful to witness his dedication and enthusiasm. Karen Fisher of Pacifica Artists Network wrote to me that Harold personifies a Hawaiian value called pono. It means doing the right thing, acting with integrity, and living in the balance that comes from doing the right thing. The ancient Hawaiians clearly knew Harold. He is not only deeply passionate about the field and about the work of his artists, but his actions, both personally and professionally, exemplify that passion. He is pono because acting otherwise would be against his nature. We're in a field where change is the norm. Through it all, Harold balances that change by remaining constant, always loyal, always supportive, always caring. Harold, on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where my people come from, we have a word whose definition includes a person of integrity and honor, someone you admire and emulate, one of noble character, a person with the qualities one would hope for in a friend or trusted colleague, a stand-up guy. Or as my grandmother would say, who never once went to Hawaii, Harold, you are a mensch. Congratulations. I started with bench and I worked backwards.
Wow. Oh man, what an honor. Thank you, Napama. And I want to talk a little bit about the generosity of the field and what the field has given me. The shoulders that I stand on, let's start with Rena Shagan. Starting with her book, which was thrown at me by a theater director, Figure Out How to Tour Us. And then being in her employ for 9 years, I learned so much from Rena, and I really want to thank you, Rena, wherever you are in the hall. Next is Ivan Zagoda, who I credit for making sure I have dance in my life. I was a theater person, and he would take no for an answer. I also want to take what I call the Johns, which are John Aaron, John Tomlinson, and John Gingrich, which made sure I knew how important it was to be involved in Napama. And then I want to really thank Susie Farr, who inspired me to service with the Association for Performing Arts Presenters. And I know this is a laundry list, and I'll try to keep it going quickly. A generosity of colleagues within organizations, which I feel like have been so supportive of me. Jerry Ross with Napama, Mario Garcia Durham with Arts Presenters, Tim Wilson with WA, Johan Zietzman, and then followed by David Bell with ISPA, Kathy Edwards of NIFA, David Frere of Arts Midwest, Susie Circumer with South Arts, M.K. Wegman with National Performance Network, and A.B. Fitterer with the Dance USA. They have been the foundation, those organizations, of a way that I could help and work with the artists that I've worked with. Now comes the most difficult part, relaying the immense generosity that presenters, agents, and manager colleagues. I keep thinking we could make more money doing something else. But the generosity of spirit could not be matched that I have received from all of you. You have given me an immense doses of professional and personal support. During the first year of my agency, I don't believe I paid for a meal or a drink. Helping hands have always been extended throughout my career. The list is so huge that I just couldn't single out any of you out. I've been an agent because of my passion for artists. So much of my success has been for the association with these artists I represent. From the beginning, my beginnings with Stage One, the Louisville Children's Theater, to the illustrious artists I had the privilege to work with during my time with Rena Shagan, to the great artists I had the privilege of working with in my own agency, to the current dance artists that I get to work with at Pentacle. They all moved me as well as audiences around the world. I do want to thank my work colleagues who have been extraordinarily generous to me, from Lou Hockett to Jenny Palmer and at Rena Shagan Associates, to Ann Wager, Tommy Kriegsman, Maya Lang, and the wonderful Ichin Ye at H-Art, and now the great people at Pentacle. I'm ever forever grateful to David Eden for all of our partnerships. I'm going to mention the long-time support I've had from David and Bea Norris, my octogenarian parents who still don't understand what it is I actually do. And I also couldn't forget the undying support from my husband and life partner of 26 years, just a few short of my career in this field, Kel Juilliard. Lastly, I want to recognize the hope of our industry. In the capable hands of my young colleagues, Ichin Ye and Amy Miller, our futures do indeed look bright in the hands of women like these. Thank you so much.
Please hang on to your seats. Our last award will be presented by Alberta Arthur. Alberta Arthur, please.
Thank you, Mario. What a wonderful day. I want to thank APAP, Mario, and his fabulous staff, which has just been a lift today for this entire event. But this is always a wonderful event, as each year we celebrate presenters and their community, all the bright, bold people who help art and artists and audiences make a better America. I think the awards given at this event honor every presenter and every artist for what they do, and I am honored to help salute the field as we salute this year's winner of the Fan Taylor Award, presented to an individual whose outstanding service, creative thinking, and leadership have had a significant impact on the profession of presenting. The colleague who is this year's Fan Taylor recipient has been in the field for more than 30 years, though not in a usual way. Known to us all, touching us all, this colleague commands no specific stage or schedule, but sweeps amongst us, stimulating ideas, stirring things up, casting the critical thoughts and ideas that help make the field significant. To quote someone who knows our honoree well, this is a singular person who brings singular insights and values and challenges to the field. This same source also points out that our colleague is, quote, bad, end quote. And I think we can all agree with that when we realize that bad means constant questioning of the status quo, rejection of any static or untested belief, suspicion of givens. Even in childhood, even in college days, from the first job forward, this person has gone beneath the surfaces of society to see what should be done to make it better. Better for everyone, always believing that art can make it better. Fierce in convictions, like a tiger, said one informant. Like a terrier, said another. Our colleague is outspoken in the fights for racial and cultural equity, for the roles of community and creativity in lifting lives and lifting values. The organization led by this singular person provides, quote, a web of relationships, end quote, and, quote, a bubbling culture of cultures, end quote, as one seasoned observer describes it. The organization supports artists' work and access to it, defends artistic expression and experimentation, and asserts that change must come from within the arts. That's a quote from our singular person. An expert evaluator has written, quote, over its 25-year history, this organization has supported the creation and touring of socially grounded performance, played a catalytic role in developing the careers of hundreds of diverse artists, and fostered deeper engagement between artists and communities. A second evaluator wrote that its leader is exemplary, quote, a national asset, end quote. As often as this colleague is described as fierce, this colleague is also described as quiet, even shy. A good listener, a good learner, absorbing what others say and observing what they do. Outspoken and plain-spoken, but also soft-spoken. Fierce, but not noisy. A renowned fighter for the good and a well-known party giver. A deep commitment to national and international action and deep, deep dedication to home and dogs. A profound appreciation of makers, makers of art, of ideas, makers of change, and makers of good meals and very good martinis. Sustained by the love of a committed partner and a love of parties, often enveloped by the porch of their historic house, brimming with visitors, overlooking the center of a historic hurricaned city, which our colleague helped bring back to life through the arts when the storm was over. Yes, New Orleans, the only city for our person. Her name is M.K. Wegman. I want to say my last word.
Okay.
And then I'll turn it to you. Thank you for saluting National Performance Network's warm and wonderful, deeply ethical, engagingly honest, always inspiring, absolutely unique M.K. Wegman. You can call up.
I am so surprised and honored and appreciative. As many of you know, I'm stepping down, retiring from this position, looking forward to the opportunity, as I've said to many, to become a colleague again. And there's so many people to thank. I want to especially acknowledge Lisa Mount, my partner in life. But Mario Garcia-Durham, the Association of Performing Arts Presenters, so many colleagues in the field, David White, who was the founder of National Performance Network, my colleagues at NPN, Steve Bailey, Stanley Brevet. I could go on, and I don't want to take any more time, but thank you so much for this honor. It means a great deal to me, and I am totally surprised.
Lisa, come on up, Lisa. Let's get a picture. All right, quick picture.
Stand behind my girl.
Hold your seats. Thank you so much. Please join us tomorrow for our closing plenary with Rita Moreno. Have a fantastic conference and the rest of your year. Thank you.